Hey guys, this is Luminous coming to you guys with a pro Dota commentary. This commentary is affiliate DC, and for more commentary content, check us out on DotaCommentaries.com. Today I'm going to cast you a best of 3 series between Shift or Nevo now actually, against M5. And as you notice on the low screen, this is 6.72C. So some of the changes has been made, and oh my god, I am at 20 seconds elapsed. I'm going to pause it down for everyone that's watching that live and talk about the picks and bans. Obviously, there's no bans. There's just the picks. We have Nevo on Sentinel and then M5 on Scourge. And look at what we got. We got a Potom, Venge, Sand King, Lycan, and a Quap. Meanwhile, Scourge, we have a Enigma. I don't know what NS got. So I gotta speed up for people watching live. I gotta see what NS have. So I'll keep going until I see his hero. He's not picking because he's too cool. But we see Enigma so far, Line, Pugna, and Windrunner. NS still. Come on, let's. I think it's a Shaker. I remember seeing a. Oh, there we go. Okay, I'm pausing 43 laps for people that's watching live. Alright, anyways. So let's look at what Sentinel had. They have a Lycan, which I have casted Lycan games, I think one commentary ago. And I really enjoy Lycan as a hero. The reason being that he has, I think, mid-game DPS. There's very little heroes that could actually rival him in that department. Now, it's not to say that he's like the hero. There's many counters to him. The introduction of Ghost Staff just took out a lot of kind of melee physical DPS kind of carries. So of course, also the Lycan is going to be jungling in the early stage of the game. He's going to be very vulnerable in terms of gank. So as a captain, you got to be very careful in terms of planning where you put your trialing, and then hopefully land up against their solo. And that it's going to be basically you want to put your Lycan away from the tri-lane, because the tri-lane is always going to be trying to gank. And if they find a very low HP Lycan in jungle, and he is going to be low HP because he's going to be tanking and whatnot, then your Lycan is going to be in trouble. But they have a Sand King, Potom, and a Quap, and these are most likely going to be the solos. Now the standard laning might be just a Quap solo and then a Potom solo with the Venge Sand King lineup. Although the Venge Sand King is not going to get too much done, because Sand King, he needs a couple of levels to do, to do anything, unless you're in a trialing where you just layer stuns after stuns. So we might just see a roaming Venge of some sort and then 3 solos, or we might even see a Venge Potom lane. It's really hard to say, but there is a lot of versatility in terms of this lineup. And then meanwhile on the Scourge we have Enigma, Shaker, Line, Pugna, and Windrunner. The laning is going to be really hard to decide as well, because all of these heroes, all of them, aside from the Shaker, can solo. And they're pretty good as a dual lane and trialing as well. So it's going to be very, very hard to say. I'm going to just leave it at that. I don't want to make any prediction that's too wrong. So I'm going to unpause in 3, 2, 1, unpause. So we do see the Pugna going top. He does have a Ring of Protection, so we might see a trialing of some sort. Shaker most likely is going to go into trialing as well. We have the Windrunner at bot lane, and then Enigma with wards. So Enigma should be jungling, a Line solo mid, and a roaming Shaker. So both these teams have very versatile in terms of laning. In terms of mid-game team fight, I really enjoy what the Sentinels got. They have so much chasing. If you look at the Blink, the Leap, the Burrow Strike, and of course Lycan Wolf form, they just can chase like forever. But meanwhile on the Scourge, they have a lot of disabled. The Shackle Shot if you get 2 heroes, the Line, Hex, Impale, and of course the Fisher and Black Hole. That's a lot of AoE ults, a lot of big long range stuns as well. So it's gonna be all comes down to position, one of those good old positioning games. And in terms of European game, that means we're gonna see so much action. We're gonna see kills everywhere, or at least I hope that. Potom plays, yeah, Potom plays the wards. So saying, oh, Cinder is usually playing the support, and he, I guess, is supporting with the Potom. And you guys know me, I always love doing wacky strats like a support Kunga and like a trialing Quap, and whatever, like solo mid abad. And I love to think of random strats, and I did try support Potoms before. It's very hard. You'll do well for the first 25 minutes or so, and then suddenly you realize, oh wait, my hero actually don't do anything anymore. So let's see if Cinderin could pull it off a little bit better. But I think he is gonna get the farm. Okay, he just got the first pair of wards. Yeah, it looks like he is gonna do top lane solo. Most likely he's not gonna get any farm in this lane because the Shaker is gonna harass him back, and I don't think he's gonna get farm against a Pugna. Great DPS, great early game DPS. So we're gonna see a dueling No, we can see Avenge, Invis, and no, that okay, wow. They're gonna go for a line. There is a level 1 Shadow Strike. I don't think they can get a kill on him. Yeah, no, not enough. And this line is playing by G. You know what that reminds me of? That reminds me of G, baby, baby. Okay. Alright, for you Korean fans, or just SNSD fans, that was your Luminous impression of a girl pop group. That's sexy, right? Alright, meanwhile on the bot lane here is Sandking solo as expected against Windrunner. So if Sandking wants, right, if Sandking really wants, he could just walk up to the Windrunner and press R and like Sandstorm. But good players and pro players, they will be able to deny the hell out of you. That might work in a pub, but it's not going to work in a pro game. So G is out of South, out of Tango almost, and Virology blinks in for 2 inches and then gets a Shadow Strike on the Shaker. And a Shaker comes in with a great, oh my god, this quad might be dead. Does it have Hex? There is that Hex, and creeps are now on here. One more hit from the big totem from the Shaker. NS picks up first blood. That means quick boots or quick bottle, as we've seen last game from CH. Win for a bottle Shaker build. Very effective roaming build. And then bot lane, yeah, there we go. We're seeing some Sandstorm harass. It won't be surprising if Angel actually levels up Sandstorm, at least to level 2, at level 3 at least. Now he's going to level up Burrow Strike, kind of the more common choice. And we are going to see Enigma jungle as expected, but I kind of want him to jungle in the offensive jungle. Yes, that is going to slow down his farm, but that also means slowing down Lycan's farm. I think a farm Lycan is a lot more devastating than a farm Enigma. Of course, when Enigma plinks up a Blink Dagger, then shit's going to happen. But, you know, if you give Ryzen up farm, he will just do a lot. And you got to keep in mind that when you pick a hero such as, you know, Lycan or Ursa or something like that, that means a free Aegis. Especially with the invention of smoke, you could just always smoke in and then basically go undetected Roshan area. There's really nothing much the Scourge could do about it aside just having constant awareness on the Roshan area and maybe even warding down the, you know, the Sentinel jungles. Hey, I see Lycan be missing for a long time. Should I go check the Rosh? So you basically get a free Aegis, usually from just from I guess personal experience of having Lycan on my team and whatnot. Here we go, a lot more harass going to line. Very low sheet. There is that Impale and a Shaker block. And there's that Scream of Pain, gonna get a kill. Eaten Fish, the support on the Venge, got the kill instead. He does have a smoke, and that is gonna be pretty good in terms of fighting that Shaker. Shaker roaming to the bot lane. Let me check the CS of bot. The 9 and 2 on the Sand King, doing pretty good job against the Windrunner. And you can see that Sandstorm still being very effective. Not so much in terms of creeping, but just keeping the Windrunner back, because there's nothing really the Windrunner could do about it. I mean, he could use a power shot, but aside from that, there's nothing much. Like, you can't stun him out of duration. And actually, Sandstorm does quite a bit of damage if you let him slowly and hit you over time. Meanwhile, checking the top lanes, 4 and 2 Potom against a 13 and 9 Pugna. Wow, this Potom is getting completely stomped, but the level is quite close. So Potom is 4, Pugna's 4.5, almost 5. So the Potom is not that far behind. In terms of laning, I gotta feel it's pretty even. Like, we got 2 guys in the jungle, the Sand King and the Windrunner just trading back farm. The Pugna gets a little bit more farm, but I think Quab is getting a little bit more farm in the mid lane. Miguel's gonna get ganged. 1 more hit, 2 more hits. No, she's gonna be fine. Does not have a salve. Is her bottle coming? Haven't checked her gold. She's sitting at 600 gold. Is gonna get the bottle right now, and it's gonna need it immediately. Meanwhile, the Shaker's just doing a very good job. He actually opts for Sobi Mask first, which I'm not too sure whether that's a best of choice. Yes, he's going to go for Soul Ring, but in terms of his playing style right now, he's playing more of a roamer in terms of, you know, he's going back and forth down the river, just harassing the Quab and threatening the Sand King a little bit here and there. So like I say, if you want to play that kind of Shaker, I think a Boots of Speed or maybe even a Bottle would be a lot more effective, because you're going to be rune whoring, you're going to be, you know, going around like crazy. One thing I failed to point out is that there's a ward over here placed by the Scourge team, blocking off one of Lycan's camp and then see the rune. I'm just a little bit surprised that they didn't even go all the way and block the Magic Bush spot, which is right here. Then you could block these 2 camps as well. Very effective in shutting down the enemy jungle. Here we go, a lot more shadow poison. Was that not shadow poison? Whatever that poison spell is called. Goddamn. Here we go. Venge is gonna come around. Might be trapped between a Shaker and a Windrunner. Women are doing fairly good job, 22 and 4, keeping down the Sanking. Sanking are slowly losing in terms of farm. Potom also losing the farm, 10 and 4 against 22 and 11. So in terms of farm, the Scourge is winning. I think mid lane the line is winning as well. No, just about a little bit, yeah. So in terms of farm, the Scourge team is just winning in every single lane. The scores 1 and 2 in favor of Scourge. So all their eggs right now is in this single basket of Lycanthrope, and there's many answers to the Lycan. Unfortunately, when you have a Lycanthrope as a jungle, one of the weakness of a Lycan jungle is that you're gonna get 0 ganks. Like absolutely, you're gonna get 0 gank because the Venge is doing a lot right now. It may not seem like it because there's only 1 kill on the Sentinel, but she's actually doing a lot. Like a lot of times when you run a passive farming jungler like this, you get 0 ganks because it's gonna be really hard for your supports to roam. It's very unsafe to roam by yourself, especially if you're roaming into a tri lane. If they're roaming as well and they have one more roamer than you do, it's gonna be very, very hard. Enigma on the other hand can just come out, you know, with Eidolons and then Malphus, and that's a good enough of a gank. It looks like they might try to be finding this. Yeah, they do see this Enigma with this ward. No, this is a Scourge ward, excuse me. What is Venge doing? Venge is hovering around, gonna go up and gonna find an Enigma, but unfortunately she's not gonna be able to gank him. So Nevo right now is playing very passive, which is generally not Nevo's playing style. I think Nevo generally plays quite aggressive, so I'm not too sure what their plan is. They do have some very aggressive mid game hero, but they need to survive this early game, which so far they're doing a fairly good job aside from being out farmed. Being out farm is not that big of a deal because most of these heroes are quite farm independent. The Potom, the Quap, the Sanking. Sanking I guess needs a Blink Dagger, but aside from that, none of these heroes are quite farm dependent. Of course, Lycan is, but he is getting free farm in the jungle. So I'm not that worried for Nevo that they're being out farmed. I'm just a little bit worried, like if the Sanking, excuse me, if the line blinks up a very quick blink, then that might be trouble for the Quap or the Potom because they really rely on their escape spells to survive. And if you do a blink hex on these guys, they're dead. Goddess or G got 21 creep kill. He's not really close to it. Here comes the Venge again. Even though Venge is not getting these ganks off, she's doing an absolutely beautiful job in terms of keeping the line back. It's like, hey, you know what? There's a Venge here. Don't farm and let Miguel farm a little bit. Miguel is going to need help. I'm surprised that Miguel's not even bottle crawling. And here we go, Eidolons. No, not doing any ganks. I mean, both teams are just very, very passive. I'm quite disappointed. I thought we're going to see some action-packed game because both M5 and Nevo, very aggressive gaming. Here we go. Venge going to poke around. It's going to eat an Impale, and she is going to be dead. Wow. And let's see if the line's going to go down. That Scream of Pain did a lot of damage. There's that 1 Hex, and it's going to go down. Good Shadow Strike. That's what it's called. Shadow Strike, preventing the line to bottle up. I think, yeah, if you watch my DWS, the weekly show, yay, you would know that you can only self/bottle through damage that's less than 20. So I believe you could bottle through Shadow Strike in level 1. Or no, Venomous Gale, you could bottle through. But Shadow Strike you can, and it's a very good job that Miguel landed a Shadow Strike on the line, so he could have bottled him and got himself a kill. Shaker is standing in front of a regen rune, but no one's gonna get it. Are they gonna wait for the line to get it? I think they will. No, Windrunner is gonna come around to get it. Meanwhile, there's some pulling going on. There's a Vlad's finish, 8 minutes 30 Vlad's, and that means he could go for Roshan right now. Like literally, he could just go for Roshan. You might want a Glove of Haste or maybe a Salve, but aside from that, you could actually just go for Rosh and get a Rosh kill. Like really, this is just ridiculous. Oh, maybe you want level 8 or 9. Yeah, you want your Feral Impulse to be maxing, maybe a level How as well. But aside from that, you could easily go for Rosh. So it's basically free goal. It's how ridiculous. Cinderin's got what, a couple of 15 level of creep kills. It's gonna be very hard for the Enigma to gank him because of the leap. But now that Enigma's level 8, that means there's a Malphus and a Black Hole. So Cinderin gotta be very careful of where he's leaping. Looks like they are gonna go for a gank on this Potom. Potom already half HP. 4 heroes here. Yeah, all they need is a Shaker Stomp. The Cinder knows. He knows. Where's that Fisher? Fisher is not gonna hit. Great leap from the Potom. Leap is always good to leap first, then get stunned, then get stunned, and then leap, because your chance of surviving is a lot higher. But the Scourge says, I don't care about that. We're gonna push. Ring of Basilisk is turned on. And here we go. Dress summons more Eidolon. There's nothing, absolutely nothing a Potom could do. He arrows. That is gonna hit the Potom, I guess. Here's that glyph, but this tower is not long for life. Meanwhile, Scourge Sentinel doing the absolutely correct thing. You push our tower, we can't defend it. We'll push yours. No big deal. There's that wow, Arcane Boots finish on Sanking. I was thinking maybe bring up the Basilius, not Basilius, Phase Boots would be better because Sand King is pretty much a chaser, right? You chase in and Burrow Shrek, and I'm not sure. Well, I guess Arcane Boots is getting very popular lately, and that is gonna help his team a lot because Quap, Potom, Lycan, they're all very mono dependent heroes. It looks like this push is quite hard to stop because of the Vlads, because of these wolves. These wolves just do so much damage. Here we go, a single teleportation coming in. Who is this? This is a Windrunner. Windrunner not going to do too much anything. Windrunner has opted